Hi and welcome to my channel ARGB. My name's Kenny. On this episode we are going to be making a spooky Halloween ghost. He's going to be something a bit different. He's going to be more of an outline than anything else. We're doing something a bit different, a bit special. Made one of these last year. So this is kind of more of a reimagining of that one. One of the differences is he's not going to have the LEDs coming through the front. I'll bring it into shot. It's not very good because it's quite big. So normally what we do with outlines like this is we'd actually put the holes into the actual corrugated plastic. On this one instead, we're going to be using some of these. We're going to be using some 30 LED meter ARGBs, and they're actually going to be attached to a strip like this on the back of the actual ghost himself. So they'll be shining, they'll be emanating light from the actual back pointing out this way, so it'll make a silhouette halo around him. Then he's going to have a normal standard, this type of LED for his eyes and mouth, because he's actually going to be a little singing ghost. So he'll be joining in with the chorus. And yeah, I think he'll look pretty cool. So yeah, let's get on with the project. Alright, so I brought you back in because I thought I'd actually explain a little bit more as to what I'm actually doing with this. The plan is, I've got my hot glue gun, is actually to attach this strip here, and then using my heat gun, actually heat the plastic up to actually mould it around the shape that I actually want. That's it. The actual 30 lead per meter tape that I'm using is actually IP67 rated. It's quite good. I've not had any issues with it in the past. Certain things you can use it for, certain things you can't. Some people swear by it, some people hate it. I'm personally, I think it has its uses, but certain props you just can't use it. Certain you can. This I think is actually going to be a good candidate to use it on. Yeah, so I'll probably be fast forwarding and talking to you quite a few times in this one, just to give you a bit more details to what I'm doing, and yeah, let you see what I'm doing progress wise. Right, hello and welcome back. So as you can see, I've got the first piece down here, just waiting for the glue to dry up a little bit. So it was a bit of a nightmare to actually get it in place. I forgot how much problematic this is sometimes to actually take glue. So I've used a bit of sandpaper, or well, this is a sanding disc, but same thing. And I've basically gone around and scuffing it. The idea being is this gives the actual glue something to attach to. But it's a really smooth surface, hot glue can sometimes be difficult to actually get to stick to it. So that was problem number one overcome. As you can see, I've just used the actual heat gun and actually bent this to the shape that I wanted using the heat gun so it didn't kink, and then I've glued it in place, and now it seems to be quite stable. Once the whole thing is on all the way around as well, I might do some little reinforcements here and there. But yeah, this part's incredibly boring, so I'm not even fast forwarding through it. I'm just stopping the video and I'll bring you back once I've actually got a bit further. See you in a minute. Right, so welcome back, people. We've done the bottom, I'll show you that now. We've done the bottom, we've put all the corrugated around it, hot glued it in. Like I say, it was a bit of a nightmare, but it was actually quite, in the end, it wasn't that bad. Once we figured out that we have to use some sandpaper to actually sand it up, rough it up. Once it was roughed up, it actually sticked quite nicely. We've got, I'm now marking out the positions for the eyes. As you can see here, this one on the edge is pretty close. So probably what I'm going to end up doing is just cutting that little bit out just from there, just to allow the actual light to fit in. So we'll do that now. So we'll just use a pair of scissors, snip it down there, and snip it down there, the little gap won't be noticeable. Get the knife. That one should do it. And then just cut it along the bottom here. Try and do it without cutting my fingers. No promises though. Fantastic little knife, isn't it? It's now stuck too well. There we go. There we go. So now that LED will fit in there quite nicely. So next part is I'm going to mark these ones out and start making the holes for that. I'll bring you back once I'm ready. Right, so I've done the holes for the eyes. We've also added the mouth, because like I say, he's going to be singing. He's going to be moving his mouth about as the music goes on. Tidy up this a little bit. So the next step is I'm probably going to be pushing these pixels. That way I know how many I've got to use. And then we'll start adding the LED strip around the edges. So I'll probably fast forward you through this bit and I'll bring you back once we've got that done. Right, so you'll see I've now got the eyes and mouth pixels now pushed in. So we're going to now move on to the strip itself. Now what I'm going to do with the strip is I'm actually going to make small holes in the side of the corrugated plastic and then use cable ties to actually hold it in place. I've got some really tiny ones which I think will be just about perfect for that. First I have to go and find them. I'll bring you back once I've got something interesting. Right, so that's the strip now placed around the outside. I'm going to make up the connector to go here, which is digital out, and that is going to then connect onto this one. Then we're going to put a connector onto here, which is then going to go to our controller. Now I'm going to actually mount the controller on this one, but it's probably not going to be permanent. It depends what kind of channels I've got on other ones, but I'm still going to make up one of my little box controllers as per usual. Got a little box for it to live in. We have power supply, and we have ESP. As usual, it's going to be an ESP32 running WLED, just because WLED seems to be, well, it's my favourite software, it's the easiest one to use. For the sake of compactness on this one, we'll probably be using some double-sided tape and actually tape that in there, and then the whole thing can live inside there. Again, we'll be putting a little bead of silicone around the top. I'll be drilling a hole in the side here. This will just be, I'll probably use silicone to actually patch that up there to make sure it's watertight. And then the whole thing closes up. I can get it to close, and then probably double side stick it there. And then we've got our cables coming from this one. Yes, I'll put a connector. I'll use the waterproof 3-pin connectors I've got, and yeah, we'll try it out and see what it's like. I'll bring you back once I'm done that. Right, so I brought you back in for a minute. You probably noticed I was adjusting, again, these are buck converters. They're actually adjustable. So basically, because I use 5-volt ESPs and 5-volt on the LEDs themselves, I have to regulate the power down, because my power transmission overall, the whole light, is actually on 12 volts. It just makes things easier. I use salvaged 12-volt power supplies from old server units, and I like to transmit at 12 volts. That way I can actually transmit for a slightly further distance, but then I like to convert it down to 5-volt for my ESPs, and then I prefer using the 5-volt LEDs. There's various different ideologies as to what LED you should use. That's entirely up to you which one you use. I'm not going to tell you which ones to use. There's different voltages. Just research, make your own decision. In the meantime, basically this is now adjusted to 5 volts. I've stuck a bit of double-sided tape to the bottom of it. Try and peel this off, because it's always fun getting the second layer off the double-sided tape. Yeah, it's laughing at me. Let's see if the tweezers help. There we go. I've got a bit of a mess around me tonight. Let's see. So we can go with that. There we go. So now I'm going to start connecting the power cables to the ESP, and then the outgoing cables for the LED themselves. So I'll bring you back in a minute. Right, so here we have it. Our little ghost LED, or LED ghost. Yeah, the effect's pretty cool. I like the way how it's come out. He's got his little derpy face and the nice shadow in the background. So I think that'll look pretty good once it's actually all set up in the next lights. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to share, like, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.